Good day to you. My name is Miss Yale and I'm a self-published author, and welcome to this new episode of my series. So today we're going to have a second part of this series, and if you haven't watched the last one, I highly recommend you watch the last one, because in the first part of the series I introduced what Augusta Raurica is. Augusta Raurica rather. And I was discussing about the details, like the general details about this place. And because like you have not been here many times, this is the first time that I visited this place, and like you, I don't have any know-how about this place except the ones that I could find on the internet. So for this second part, I like to take you on the rest of the infrastructures, the remaining structures that the Romans left behind after 2000 years. And imagine, as I've mentioned in the previous video, I mentioned that 80% of the entire property is still left unexcavated, so they're still left buried under the ground, and we'll never know what they are or what we could discover or find unless we could find them. So for today, I like to just give you a tour, the rest of the tour, and show you how it was for me to experience Switzerland and the other place of Switzerland. And because I'm a foreigner, I'm a Filipina, of course every Filipino understands the beauty and the experience, the memorable experience Switzerland could bring to anyone, to any Filipino out there. And shout out to all Filipinos who are working in Switzerland. I really admire you guys for working so hard in this country. And this country is one of the richest. It's and actually it's an understatement. So anyway, I was just roaming around with my husband and have a trip here, and just to free the space, the mental space that I have in the last few weeks prior to this trip. As most authors and writers are there, I don't know if you could understand this feeling, but for me as a writer, as an author, it's easy for me to get drowned in my emotions. It's easy for me to get drowned with my thoughts and feelings, and unable to process them without intention, the intention to get out of the house, the intention to do something else rather than just writing. And activities like this, outdoor activities like this, are important because it allows me to have that space again, the mental space to do and think of something else rather than just the stories, the ideas, whatever, the words, And because it's an entirely different thing from what I'm used to, it allows my brain cells, it allows the brain to have some break from everything that's been going on in my life. And right now you're watching how it was for us to roam around, walk around the entire, I'm not sure if we've covered the entire 700 square kilometers, because the entire Augusta Raurica has around 700 square kilometers of the territory, and until now it's still 80% of it is still under the ground, you could say. And just to see around, lots of trees and a lot of people are living around here. They have apartments, they have their own life around here, they have their it's an ancient town in the middle of a modern city. You could just imagine that. It's an entirely ancient, totally ancient. And as I've mentioned in the previous video, this place was founded by Lucius Munatius Blancus around 44 BC. So imagine the millennia. Imagine the time of 44 BC. Bring yourself back to 44 BC. That's before Christ. And to uncover that much of that much life. Imagine a millennia worth of life you have to uncover beneath the soil just to rediscover the lives, the old lives, the undiscovered, untold stories of the Romans, the rest of the Roman population, and the fact that they're still buried under the soil, under the depths of wherever they were at the moment. It makes me think of, what if it was your book? What if it was your work? What if it was your manuscript? What if it was your story untold, hidden underneath the soil, underneath the, like the anxiety, underneath the, I don't know if I should write that, or if I should write that or not. And as of now, just so you know, just while I'm talking to you, as I've mentioned in my previous videos, I don't really have scripts for my episodes. I really don't make scripts for each episode, so I just have I have tabs opened, I have my video open, so just to see what you're looking at. But this is life, and just the fact that I'm speaking from the heart, it means that the words that coming out of my mouth and the words that brush your ears the words that brush your ears are really from the heart, come from the heart. And just going back, if you think of your stories, your talents, your undiscovered self is just buried underneath the depths of your real life, the rush of life, the what else, like the goals, the plans, the 10-year, 20-year plan. You're barely still know life. You're still maybe you're just around 30s, or maybe you're in your 20s, I don't know. And well, based on my analytics, most of my listeners are from around 24, around their 20s, 30s. So I assume that you're around that age. And if you're you belong to the old age, welcome to the channel. You're welcome to the youth. We all have youthful hearts, no matter, regardless of our age. We all have youthful hearts because it's necessary for us to keep the child in us. So, but anyway, going back, no matter how much we lie to ourselves, the moment we close our eyes and go back to sleep, and go to sleep and enter our dreamland, we'll always be slammed back by this truth that the next day you will wake up with the same shit again. You will wake up with the same anxiety, you will wake up with the same pain again, knowing that in your lifetime, that today, let's say, that today you will spend the rest of the 8 hours doing something that you don't like, doing something that you hate, doing something you spend 8 hours of it, doing something that you really never ever want to do. But that's the thing. If you ask yourself, well, I don't have a choice. Yeah, we all don't have a choice. We have to deal with this reality. But as you can see from just watching this video, it reminded me of, if you think back then, the Romans, what if they think, I don't have a choice? Did they have a choice? Probably, because of the cataclysmic, events that happened in between that collapsed the entire population, the entire nation. I don't know. But the fact that most of, if you were an average Roman and you never did something in your life, at least for yourself, something that your heart, something that your soul wants to do, you keep ignoring it, you keep pretending that it's not there. And it's quite sad, it's quite amazing how you keep up with this pretense that you're not hearing it, you're not listening to it, you keep ignoring it as if they are they remain there in your head for the rest of your life, and they're not worthy or deserving to be told and shared. Imagine Julius Caesar never came to history books. Imagine Marcus Aurelius never came to books. What if he never wrote a journal? Would we learn his philosophy? Would we be able to realize his stoic values and learn his philosophy up to this date in this modern era, more than 2000 years later? Will we still be able to understand and apply his principles knowing that he lived 2000 years back? So if you're a writer, and if you're, you don't have to be a writer or an author right now, but maybe you're that someone who has that story inside you, waiting to be told, waiting to be, finally released to public. When will you, when will you demand your egoistic conscious self to step aside and let your soul speak at this moment? When will be that time when you can finally sit down with your thoughts and feelings, and just like Marcus Aurelius in his daily morning routines as an emperor, and knowing the achievements that he had made in his lifetime. So just these things that I'm telling you are the same things that I've been reflecting upon visiting this place. And as you can see, we're driving around too. We're not just walking, we're not just having this pleasure of enjoying the view and replenishing our sensitive skins and cells. So because roaming around 700 square kilometers of property is you need a golf cart. Maybe you need some tram train in between. Imagine how a great mind can be if that great mind has the chance to be great. But right now, maybe you're at the crossroads. Maybe you're thinking, what should I do with my life? What should I do with the rest of my years? And if you're someone who's working right now and you feel like you're trapped in this job and you don't have any exit at all, think about, you can't just leave your job. You can't just leave whatever real life you have. You can be a grocery store cashier. You can be a doctor now. You can be someone right now. And if you feel trapped and you don't know what to do with your life, start with asking yourself, why? I mean, it's a cliche, but just why? And just no, you don't have to find the answers. You just feel the word why. If you just just stand outside, away from people, be alone with yourself and with your thoughts and feelings, just be alone with yourself, just throw the question into the air, why? And then you will figure out the answer. Not because you hear it, not because you say it, not because your brain says so, because your body tells you so. Your body will always keep the score. Your body will always keep everything. Your unconscious, your subconscious feelings that are boiling deep underneath your skin. These things are boiling. These are playing out in your conscious decision. And if you're not aware of them, this will be you will just wake up and then ask yourself, what have I done? And if you're the person who doesn't like to end up with that kind of life, so you better better have that moment, or that spare some time in a day to think of the basic question, just 3-letter question, why? And you will figure out the feelings, the thoughts will just come out of you without really even forcing it. You will just feel how your why feels. And if you feel like, I'm not liking this, then that's the start of then like, what can I do to change things? What can I do now to change my future? Because future is a collection of nows. So what you do now will affect your future. So if you think of now will affect your future. So if you're unconscious of your now, then that's the problem. So because no matter how you dream of your future, but if you're unconscious of your past playing out in your present, in your now, then you will never reach the future. The kind of future that you envisioned. So again, if you're someone who's like, I don't care what you do. If you're a writer, an author, okay, I'll teach you. Or you can read my books and learn from me. But to the general public, I mean to everyone, even if you're a janitor, an engineer, a teacher, first of all, I admire you. I am proud of what you've been through, because those experiences will mold excuse me, these experiences will mold you for who you will become later on. These experiences, the person you are now, is brought by the experiences of the past. So whatever you decide now, or whatever experiences you collect now, will affect the person you will become in the future. And going back to my life as a writer, these experiences are necessary for me, not just because to replenish my sensitive soul, but to grow as a person, to grow as a soul, to grow as a spirit. And because I am a writer, I use writing as an instrument, as a medium to express that, like that contribution, which I think and believe, which I feel I'm gifted with. So if you feel like you're gifted with music, then do something with it. If you feel like you're gifted with singing, then express it with singing. So the moment you fine tune your conscious, your unconscious, your subconscious selves through doing the things you're in your daily life, you don't even have to quit your job. I mean, like, if it's really not the good option, but if you can, then you leave. But if it's really not the option you have right now, then start doing the little steps, like asking yourself why, what can you do now, and really with intention. Because if you don't have strong intention, if you don't have the intention, then how will you achieve that? Because intention is derived from the unconscious, subconscious. If you don't have strong unconscious and subconscious selves, if you're not aware of them, no matter how you dream and empower yourself, your unconscious or subconscious actions will always block you from doing the right conscious decisions. So that's why in this video, I know that I sound like a priest. I know that in this video I sounded like a spiritualist, but this is really how I think. This is really how I approach life, knowing that I survived suicide, knowing that I was this person who was once believed that death will come to me at any given moment in my control, because I was that person who believed that I didn't have anything to do, and I was like, I didn't have any faith in myself at all. I didn't give myself the chance to be the person I knew I will be. So after surviving that, this is how I am now. So I don't know if that makes sense to you, or if anything makes sense to you today, but this is really like the words from the heart that I really wish to tell you today. And I hope that everything makes sense to you, because, well, I will be talking the same to you if we ever meet in person, And if you're familiar with shadow work, I really highly recommend you to do so. And just so you know, I've been doing shadow work in the last 3 years continuously. So I've been handwriting my journal entries, sharing my honest thoughts and feelings, just to, like, I want my unconscious and subconscious to be known to my conscious, because my conscious will be, like, the first thing that I will know. My consciousness will always be the first thing that I will know. So, but by the time that I will do the journaling and do some meditation, this is where the subconscious and the unconscious will come out. And if I am disciplined enough to write my thoughts and feelings onto paper, it allows my conscious mind to welcome those without judgment. So I think that will be all today. And by the way, before I end this episode, I invite you to like and subscribe my channel, follow me on TikTok, follow me on YouTube, on Facebook and Instagram. And if you like to support my content and my life as an author, I highly recommend you visit Goodreads, leave reviews. And if you find my books on Amazon, you can leave reviews there. I am also on Smashwords. I'm everywhere. And because I'm everywhere, you can leave reviews everywhere. Video. Anyway, so that will be all today, and I hope that you enjoyed this episode. And yeah, see you in the next one. Cheers.